The restaurant's glass doors swung open under the bright afternoon sun, and in walked a little girl holding a folded piece of paper with trembling hands, her shoes dusty, her eyes far too serious for her age. She scanned the room filled with polished tables and expensive smiles, then took a careful step forward, unaware that in that single moment, she was about to change a life that believed it had already seen everything. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the quiet miracles that happen when hearts stay open, take a moment right now to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Life Spark Stories. Your support helps stories like this reach the people who need them most. The little girl's name was Myra, and she had come instead of her mother. Her mother, Sana, had been sick for weeks, the kind of sickness that drained color from her face and strength from her voice. The blind date had been arranged by well-meaning relatives who believed Sana deserved happiness before life slipped further through her fingers. When Sana collapsed that morning, fevered and weak, Myra made a decision no child should have to make. She braided her own hair, wore her cleanest dress, and took the bus into the city, clutching the address and a promise she had whispered to her sleeping mother. She would not let her mother be forgotten. Across the room sat Rowan Hale, a self-made millionaire CEO known more for acquisitions than affections. His life was a tower of glass and schedules, built after loss taught him that emotions were liabilities. He had agreed to the blind date out of pressure, not hope, and as the minutes passed, impatience hardened his expression. Then he saw Myra. Confusion flickered first, then irritation, then something softer he could not name as she walked toward him with careful bravery. She explained in her small, steady way that her mother was sick and sent her instead, because she did not want to disappoint anyone. What followed was not laughter or anger, but silence. Rowan felt something crack open inside him as he noticed the faint bruise on Myra's arm from carrying grocery bags too heavy for her, the worn edges of her shoes, the way she stood like she expected rejection as a rule. He ordered food she could eat, listened as she spoke about school, about helping her mother rest, about dreams that involved simple things like sunny windows and no hospital smells. Around them, the restaurant buzzed, but for Rowan, the world narrowed to a little girl carrying a weight far bigger than herself. That afternoon did not end with romance, but with a quiet shift. Rowan arranged a car to take Myra home, followed them himself, and saw the truth of their life in the modest apartment filled with medicine bottles and unpaid bills. He met Sana in the daylight, pale but dignified, embarrassed yet grateful. There was no promise made, only understanding. Rowan left with a heaviness in his chest he could not shake, and for the first time in years, his wealth felt meaningless compared to what he had witnessed. Days passed, then weeks. Rowan found reasons to return, at first practical ones, then human ones. He helped with medical care, ensured Sana received proper treatment, and watched as Myra slowly learned what it felt like to be a child again. In the daylight of hospital rooms and sunlit kitchens, Rowan discovered something unexpected within himself. He remembered the boy he once was, who had also waited for someone to show up. Sana, strong even in illness, reminded him that resilience could be gentle. Myra reminded him that courage did not need age. As Sana recovered, gratitude turned into trust, and trust into something deeper that grew without force or fantasy. There was no dramatic confession, only shared mornings, shared worries, and shared hope. Rowan learned that love was not a lightning strike but a steady presence, and that families could be chosen as much as they were born. Before this story ends, take a moment and comment below where you're watching from and what part of this story moved you most. Your words matter more than you think. On a bright afternoon much like the first, Rowan watched Myra run across a park, laughter replacing the seriousness in her eyes. Sana sat beside him, healthy, real, and present. Rowan realized that the most important meeting of his life had not been in a boardroom, but the moment a little girl walked into a blind date carrying hope instead of fear. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and engage with this video. Your support keeps these stories alive, and sometimes kindness is all it takes to change everything.